This is On Air with BingX.
And welcome back again, sir. Another AMA session, guys. So today we are back with Roger. He is the co-founder and CEO of CryptoLock. Roger has a very diverse work experience spanning over various roles and industries. Roger is currently the Chief Executive Officer at CryptoLock, a membership program that focuses on making crypto safe and transparent. But enough about that. Roger, could you please introduce yourself for those who haven't heard and what CryptoLock is actually about?
Awesome. Thanks, Natalie, and thanks for having me on the show. Yeah, a little bit about myself. I've born and raised on 3 continents. So grew up in South Africa, studied in the US, finished with a master from Stanford, and worked 10 years in China in both in venture capital and then in fintech. I also started an insurtech business, which called PolicyDock, that is working with top-tier insurers, mainly cyber insurers. And through our work with cyber insurers, CryptoLock was born. The basic premise was that ransomware was being paid with crypto, and the services to go and investigate and recover crypto is extremely expensive. And when you're an individual that's being hacked, for maybe tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars, in certain cases it doesn't make sense to use these services. Whilst if you are hacked for over $1 million or so, then using these services, that's when it kind of makes sense. So we kind of looked at a lot of cases and we said, okay, well, a lot of these cases could have been prevented, right, with the right security tools. And then at the same time, is how do we make those memberships, or how do we make these services available? So we looked at other products like ID theft recovery in the US, or maybe for a worldwide example is kind of more like what you call a AAA or roadside assistance. So when your car breaks down, you're driving on the highway, your car breaks down, you call AAA, they come and repair your car. So what happens when your crypto gets lost, right? And we spent probably the past year and a half going around the world talking to folks. What do you do when your crypto gets lost? And unless you're an expert in the industry, 99% of the people basically said, I don't know, what do I do? I'm screwed. I cry. I go to the corner into the fetal position, right? So I think this is an evolving space. Regulation has really come a long way in the past 2-3 years, and we've been involved with over $30 million worth of crypto recovery cases. Each one is different jurisdictions, different types of hacks and scams, etc. And I'm sure everyone kind of reads about these big hacks over the news, and such and so forth, right? So that's what CryptoLock's about. What we've also realized over the past 3 to 6 months is that insurance is sold, it's not bought. I think there's due to the huge lack of awareness of what happens when your crypto gets lost. People actually don't think they need the services, and then they call me basically once they get hacked, which is the worst time to call, because the first question I ask is, did you have a warranty, or did you buy a membership, or etc. So what we're evolving CryptoLock to be is actually an AI marketplace for security tools, where you have a subscription, and part of that subscription you have our membership program. So we also feel like, okay, let's add value to the user, and in the worst case scenario, at least they'll have someone to talk to and help them. And we bring the best industry leading partners, basically.
All right. Yeah, that's amazing. And you bring up a really interesting question. I think we're all focused on the prevention aspect of things, that if it were to actually happen and you ask me right now, my first thing that I would do is actually panic, to be honest. Yeah. But I'm really interested on so in your opinion, how does CryptoLock assist these individuals or businesses in the event in the unlikely event that we do lose some cryptocurrencies? What steps should I, as a user or a business owner, should take when I suspect these crypto assets has been stolen or lost?
Yeah, look, I think there's at least first two preventive basic steps. Let's not even talk about top tier security. Let's talk about first scanning smart contracts and scanning wallets before you transact with them. KYC AML law is going through the roof. And typically, what regulators are doing is they're saying the origin of crypto, what percentage of this is coming from sanctioned entities. And basically, a sanctioned entity could be like a terrorist organization or like a child pornographer. That's the worst actually. Don't be that, right? But like, let's say if more than 5% of your funds came from a child pornographer within 20 transactions, yeah. So 20 hops is what they call it. Is so one transaction within 20 hops. It's like in your iPhone. If you lose your iPhone, it could be bricked. So the regulator would flag this address, and it would be much harder for you to turn your crypto into fiat. Okay,
Okay.
so if you want to go to like a Coinbase or a Kraken or OKX, BingX, right? Sorry, BingX. They, like compliance could flag you and basically investigate. Okay, is this person, does he have the kind of transaction history of someone who would be doing something illicit? Okay. Then the second part is actually monitoring the crypto address. I've also dealt with a lot of cases where people like check their wallets and the crypto was gone. Did they get a Did they get a notification? Did they get an email? Did they get an SMS? So that's where we also come in. So we not only do those two basic tools, having transaction monitoring, being able to notify you when your crypto gets lost. Quite often, if you have a trust wallet or any type of wallet software, the wallet only notifies you if you initiate a transaction within the wallet, right? But
Yeah.
it's not monitoring that blockchain address. So when you're not monitoring that blockchain address, it's like your credit card. When someone swipes your credit card, like say in Hong Kong or like in Malaysia or something, and you're in Singapore, then basically you get notified immediately, and you can say suspicious transaction alert.
Yeah.
And crypto is different, unstoppable transactions, right? So once that transaction is unstoppable, okay, then you then you basically then the crypto's on the move. Within the first 2 weeks, that's the most critical part actually. You want to enlist professionals and folks in tracing the movement of the crypto, blacklisting that address, telling all kind of crypto fiat on ramps that that please freeze the crypto once it gets there. There's suspicious transactions, etc. And those two main steps is also what we help with. And then depending whether it goes to exchange or it goes to, it's on the move, it's going through mixes and things like that, then that case can get a little bit more complicated, and it needs a little bit more needs a lot more investigation. So every case is different. We've seen small amounts go through 3, 4, 5, 20 mixes, and we've seen large amounts just go direct to an exchange. So that's kind of the difference.
Yeah, that totally makes sense there. So you mentioned like monitoring like all these transactions and cryptocurrencies. Like, how do you define like its significance? How important is it in today's like digital landscape? And how would CryptoLock's blockchain analytics play a role in this?
Yeah, no, 100%. I think transaction monitoring is probably one of the most underrated services in crypto. There's a lot of services that are evolving. So monitoring risk, monitoring, etc. And also people forget that everyone's a lot of people I talk to, they're like, well, we have the best in terms of Fireblocks or these different types of custodial services, etc., etc. But at the same time, let's say, if you have the CEO and you have your team or etc. that's monitoring these transactions, etc. There's a lot of internal fraud as well, right? So, people authorize transactions without having it notified, or doing hacking, impersonation scams. of different types of signatories within the organization. But even as an individual, it is like really so basic just to have, wouldn't you want to know, let's say you have, say 5 Bitcoin in a wallet, wouldn't you want to know when, 3 Bitcoin is moving from one address to another address, right?
Definitely.
That's like, the way we check out, most people check their cryptos, they're like, let's log into my wallet, let's check if the crypto is still there. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, totally agree with you on that. And I think in the beginning you also mentioned something about AI's integration in this. So how does the AI technology is being leveraged by CryptoLock services, and what sort of
Yeah.
impact do you have there? Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, no, thanks for asking that question. So we basically so we, after going to a few conferences, Token 2049 and stuff, we see a lot of innovation happening in the security space of crypto.
Yeah.
And it's really, they're really, everyone has their own unique selling point, okay? And they're all a little bit different. They're all attacking a different part of the value chain, whether it's a new MPC wallet, whether it's a risk monitoring on transactions, whether it's things like being able to stop transactions before they happen through the mempool, whether it's having the ejection button to basically get it out. So, where we see kind of CryptoLock going is that, like, well, this is awesome, right? Our kind of expertise is from the insurance angle. We're working with insurers already. We know how they think. We have our membership program, which we which is a type of a warranty type of product on these recovery services. But we thought, okay, like, there's a huge lack of awareness when it comes to what tools are out there, how do I do them, etc., etc. This, some are hard to use, some are easy to use. We kind of told ourselves, hey, maybe the best way where CryptoLock fits in this value chain is putting them all into an AI, right? So think of it like ChatGPT, right? But with updated information, all about crypto security, compliance, and recovery. You can ask the AI, what do I do when I lose my crypto? You can ask, what's the regulations in Hong Kong? How is it evolving? We can ask how what's the best way to secure an MPC wallet? How can I avoid internal fraud? What other tools are there for like transaction monitoring? That may be like more advanced, or how much you're willing to pay. And there's all these, what's the best cold storage where I don't need to know my seed phrases, things like that, right? And then not only will we basically recommend partners, right? But some of these partners, like you can basically, you can basically scan and check right in the AI, right? So it's not just content, it's recommendations as well as services that are going to be available right in the AI, such as your basic wallet scanning, such as basic smart contracts scanning through Cyberscope, right? And a few others that we're going to be onboarding on. So the user will be able to check these services side by side, make their own educated judgment, and we'll act as we basically want to create this awareness of what the differences are. With a lot of the services, like everyone's on the chain analysis, or or other services, Vocal Science, TRM, Elliptic, whoever, right? There are certain differences, and certain different of those, they also have different, unique selling points, or they have different coverages. Some are great at different blockchains as well. So, having that all in one suite in one place, and basically helping the user use that. Users can actually register for this right now. We're in a beta, so we are constantly adding functionality and services. You can go to chat.cryptolock.ai, and you can actually, start asking questions. We're kind of in the first beta phase. So yeah, people can get a sense of what we're doing there.
Yeah, definitely. I love that idea. I mean, we already have like these type of like websites in traditional finance where they give recommendation, the pros and cons of different infrastructure. I would really love to see that in the Web3 space and specifically in security areas as well. So that's really, really exciting. So another question that I have is actually in light of KYC and also like KYT regulations, how does CryptoLock ensure compliance and security while providing its services? Like, how do we, find the balance here, and what benefits have this?
100%, right? So number one with us is we never ask for your private keys, right? We will never ever ask for your private keys. And let me say that again. We will never ask for your private keys. Okay. We see ourselves as a monitoring security service layer and educational piece on top of the blockchain, basically, right? So we are monitoring, we can help you monitoring wallet addresses. You can be pseudonymous if needs be. But we're not going to ask you for anything that requires authorizing of transactions. That being said, some of our partners might want you, for example, if you want to sign a smart contract with a service that has a red panic button to eject your crypto, from one address to another in case you see your wallet being drained, or if you want someone to monitor your wallet, seeing like risky transactions and blocking transactions, and having that kind of same suite of services, then then you're going to have to sign a smart contract. That won't be our service. That will be someone else. Our kind of premise is this: we want to bring the best of the best security tools, make you aware of them, put them all in one place for you, right? Either in one place, or you click a button, you can go buy, say, like a Trezor or a UKISS or something like that. But if all else fails, if all else fails, at least register your wallets with us so that when that failure does happen, you can go ahead and begin the investigative services immediately. And people ask me, hey, what's the chance of recovery, right? Well, the flip side to the question is there's zero chance of recovery if you don't do anything.
Yeah.
So let's this is we need to fight crypto crime to basically, we need to fight crypto crime because hackers expect people can't afford these services. They know people can't afford these services. If you've lost $50,000, right, are you going to spend $10,000 just for the investigation? You're probably not. It doesn't make sense, right? So have that investigation done, understand what's happening with your case, and knowledge is power, right? The more information you get, the more better assessment of a informed decision you're going to be able to make.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. And so how do you anticipate this entire regulatory landscape evolving, in relation to like cryptocurrency use? And what role does CryptoLock sees itself playing in shaping this future?
Yeah, that's a that's a great question. So actually, last week I spent about 4 days with Jones Day lawyers, right? And so we've been part of their kind of FinAccelerate program. So when a legal firm is doing a FinTech accelerator program, then like, okay, regulation, compliance, KYC, all this is going to play a massive and huge role, right? And even the lawyers, certain questions, they're going to be saying, hey, come back in 6 months and ask us again because it's still being drafted or still being changed. But like what I can say is like, this is a sad truth about, well, I don't know if it's a sad truth, but the reality is governments do not like this alternative universe, or certain governments do not like this alternative kind of digital asset universe competing with their currencies, and they put in the protective provisions. Certain folks at this conference, like some of the folks from Ripple basically were saying like, in the US at least, certain governors have really like blocked US or, just based on a pure policy from becoming, the forefront of leaders of blockchain, Web3 type of technology. I think different jurisdictions will have have different stances on how they approach licensing, etc. It always evolves, as folks know. So maybe 5 years ago, Singapore was really open for business. Now they're a lot more careful on how they're doing business. Hong Kong has suddenly, like, from being like, also the host of one of the largest crypto exchanges, is still one of the largest crypto exchanges. They were very conservative, and now they're reopening up. So the landscape is constantly evolving. We're putting a lot of these data sets into our AI and curating and pre-vetting a lot of data sets into our AI. Folks can actually go in and ask the AI what's happening in Turkey, what's happening in Hong Kong, Dubai, Avara. Okay, but the one commonality through this is, people want to get rid of illicit financing, right? All governments agree on one thing: is illicit KYC AML financing. And for example, Mika in Europe is going a bit crazy in terms of, it used to be within 5 transactions or 10 transactions on a conservative level. So they're saying up to 20 transactions, yeah, just because of the nature, and it's also because of the nature of crypto crimes, where a lot of crypto is going through different washes, tornado cash mixes, things like that, right? So regulators are trying to be clever, in some cases too clever. But I also kind of identify with them. They also need to, the landscape keeps changing. So you create one rule and people will find a way around. But on the KYC AML, really about scanning wallets and scanning smart contracts before you conduct business with them, or send your crypto to yeah.
Amazing. Well, this sounds like a total package right here, Roger. I'll tell you that. But just one small question on this as well, which is that so how would like CryptoLock aim to make crypto security services accessible, especially to like startups or individuals who may have not had significant financial resources?
Yeah, that's an excellent question, right? So just to give you an idea, is basically our starting service package. So actually, we have a freemium product to just monitor wallets, get email things, and then in light of a breach, you pay a breach fee, right? And then we also have a kind of a basic premium package, which we're going to be charging $5 per wallet per month. I think really affordable to all the whales out there, right? But in our security marketplace is we're offering a lot of enterprise grade level services, which is basically only B2B, which you typically would need a much larger subscription, right, to do it. And we're making it, we're taking on the subscriptions, and we're going to be making those services available to the average Joe on a pay-per-use basis, right? And actually, what we're discussing and what we're planning to do with all our partners is, so we make it on a pay-per-use. We help them. We're going to be helping our partners monetize. We have a lot of collaborations, so we're signing about 2 new partners a week. If anyone wants to be in our marketplace, please welcome to reach out. Welcome to send us an email at info@CryptoLock.ai. But at the same time, is towards middle of next year, we are planning a token offering that all these tokens will be able to pay for all these different types of services and security services that go onto our platform. So we're also super excited about that, and early adopters of our platform will get different types of bonuses, basically.
Okay, got it. Well, it's definitely cheaper than paying that 10K for an investigation. So
yeah. Or ask. You should ask how much Chainalysis costs.
Okay. We also noticed that you've had some partnerships with Cypherblade. So what specific example could you give us in regards to this collaboration that has improved the security and asset recovery for crypto wallet users specifically?
Yeah. Cypherblade's been in the business a long time. They're one of our kind of anchor partners. We mix what they have with other different types of cybersecurity, legal, and things, and other services. But they've been in the space a long time. They know all the exchanges, and a lot of these cases, and so they're really great in terms of investigations and working with law enforcement and things like that. So it's it's like if you went direct to law enforcement, it's a tough explanation if you don't have your ducks in a row, meaning all the documentation, what you've done, explaining it in a very simple manner, or having someone from in law enforcement explaining from the ex-law enforcement industry to explain it to law enforcement, right? And so they're really they're really good in terms of doing all these, getting all the ducks in a row, and basically those have relationships with some of the exchanges. So not only can we help you with working with them, but we can also help in getting preferential rates. And then on top of that is that we buffer them with a lot of our expert network, right? So if we've traced crypto to a certain wallet and it needs investigative services to find out who that person is, that's one thing. If we found the hacker, you need ransomware negotiations. That's another thing. So these are just small examples on what we do together, and it's very collaborative. They're very open. We have our own informal blacklist, and we also report to all the different type of blacklisting agencies.
Amazing. So I want to dive deeper into your membership model. So I understand that it has a combination of technology and human expertise. So how does this model recover asset or help recover assets that were previously considered unrecoverable?
Yeah, very basic. So let's say it's per wallet address, $5 per wallet per month. When with the $5, you get transaction monitoring, you get notifications, you get wallet scans, so you can basically scan wallets. You can see what happens. We provide all the basic wallet scanning. So essentially, you get all that, right? Then when a breach were to happen, and let's say, we focus on when crypto moves from one wallet address to another. So when some unintended type of transactions, could be a fat finger hack, being scammed through a phishing website or something, even a transaction you authorize, you hit the panic button, right? You hit the panic button, you pay a breach fee, a nominal fee of $500, which basically tells us you're serious about us bringing on worth of $10,000 worth of services. We begin reporting to different blacklisting agencies that, okay, this crypto is hot, it's on the move. And basically, once that happens, we begin the investigation already, blacklist all the wallets, begin analyzing the case, begin developing a strategy for you in terms of, okay, what do you need to do, when, at what time, and we'll continuously monitor the case until it hits any types of fiat off-ramps, and notify those relevant agencies to basically freeze or stop that crypto, right? And then in the event that it's needed to, at a certain point in the case, we will also help you notify or law enforcement, or give you instructions on what to do to talk to law enforcement, right? Different cases are different. Some will need more legal, some will need more types of tracing and more different types of investigations. So not only blockchain forensics, but also cyber forensics and matching IPs and stuff like that.
Got it. Nice.
Yeah. So that first 10,000 covers the analyzed piece of the services, and then we go. We are developing more products to have not only analyze but also to execute. Yeah.
Got it. All right. And yeah, so as you mentioned, different cases have, different information that goes into that. And with cyber threats constantly evolving and hackers becoming smarter and smarter, how does CryptoLock stay at the forefront of security measures and, to protect users' crypto assets?
Yeah, so we see ourselves on that front as kind of hopefully bringing everyone together and helping users understand and map out that space. And so that's why we put all these services into our AI, and we want to partner with as many people as possible. A lot of it is a huge lack of understanding, right? Like even things like scanning endpoints, scanning vulnerabilities in your website, these different types of tools where you can like stop transactions before they're going to in the mempool phase before they happen, right? If you're on automatic blocking, there's a huge there's a huge lack of even there's a huge lack of awareness, but at the same time, people are afraid because they don't want to like sign the wrong smart contract as well, right? So it's a give and take in cybersecurity. People just need to be made more aware and educated. So if you're going to scan a smart contract, scan it before. But as the space is evolving, we're going to be adding more and more different partners because security in the space is also constantly evolving, right? So threats are evolving, security is counteracting, and it's our job to basically be on the top of that and bring people together and do that matching. And where we kind of add, where we believe we really add value is on this type of membership warranty type of model that helps underline these services basically, right? So would you want to sign a smart contract knowing that like if you sign it wrong, then and your assets go missing and you trusted the security provider, right? What can you do then too, right? If the security provider was a scam, then you sign a smart contract, right? So we want to stop things like that. And so at least if the security provider was a scam, we hold them accountable because, a lot of hackers, they're like, oh, they don't believe that you're going to spend, they don't believe you're going to spend like $10,000-$20,000 to go after them. You know what I mean? So that's where we come in, basically, right? We try to hold everybody accountable on the space.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, don't let them get away with it.
100%. Yeah.
My final question, which is, so in the context of fostering mass adoption, so how do innovative insurance solutions, such as those offered by CryptoLock, contribute to building trust among users of cryptocurrencies?
Yeah. So number one is like I believe in a basic economic view of any country or any type of sub economy or microeconomy or whatever is you can't have wealth without security, right? So and also if you look at the if you look at the loan, if you look at any type of industry, if there's no type of guarantee or type of warranty or insurance, the big purchase ticket items become harder and harder to use, right? So like depositing $1 million into BingX, that's a huge huge leap of faith. What are the repercussions if my crypto goes missing? How do I trust? Yes, it's on a blockchain, but hacks happen and things like that. So it's almost like there's no police force really if you think about it in crypto, and the police force is a kind of like private security companies, right? So it's not like most law enforcement agencies, if you lose, we've had cases where folks have lost $10 million and they say, okay, well, get in line because you're a small case, right? They're tackling like the hundreds of millions of dollars or the $50 million and above first before they get to the smaller case, right? So it's not like if someone robs your cell phone, though, you can go to the police and the police would understand, okay, your cell phone has been robbed and I can actually check cameras and in the certain areas and find the perpetrator in certain countries, right? Crypto, much different. You need the monitoring, and you also need some sort of, you need these specialized investigative services or private security force, if you were to call it, to govern. Right now, just because it's a new market, it's pretty opaque on how they work. And so, for us, we want to basically help not only make awareness of all these different types of services, but also help democratize the space.
All right. Yeah, definitely. That's really amazing. I think that's pretty much the questions that I have for you today. Thank you so much, Roger, for tuning in. And thank you to everyone else also for tuning in. Do give CryptoLock a look, search them up on Twitter, and do give BingX a follow to stay tuned for more updates. And thanks, guys. Bye.
Awesome. Thanks for having me on the show.